Are you ready to uncover the beating heart of one of Asia's most enchanting secrets? Vietnam is a land of dazzling contrasts and spellbinding mysteries, where ancient traditions intertwine with modern ambition. From the lush rice terraces that blanket its northern mountains to the bustling motorbike-choked streets of its cities, each moment reveals a remarkable tapestry of life. Buckle up and prepare for an unforgettable journey, because what you're about to discover might just change the way you see the world. Hello and welcome, fellow explorers. I'm Lucas, and this is Unmasked Planet, the channel that dares to reveal the world's most fascinating cultures and destinations. If you're excited to dive into the heart of Vietnam, then join our growing community by subscribing right now. In the comments, share this motivational phrase: "I'm ready to uncover life's hidden treasures." Let's embark on this journey together. Vietnam, stretching along the eastern edge of the Indochinese peninsula, is more than just a shape on the map. It's a realm where every sunrise carries whispers of untold histories, and every sunset marks the promise of a new adventure. The country's iconic S-shaped coastline, hugging the South China Sea, boasts a distinct topography that allows for astonishing biodiversity. From mist-shrouded mountains and dense jungles to fertile river deltas and shimmering beaches. But the geography is only the beginning of a much grander story. When most people picture Vietnam, vivid images of green rice paddies, conical hats, and chaotic cityscapes often come to mind. Yet beneath these well-known snapshots lie countless layers of heritage, intrigue, and resilience. Vietnamese culture emerged from a tapestry woven over centuries by influences from China, Cham civilizations, France, and even the United States. This melting pot of traditions has shaped everything from regional dialects and architectural styles to art forms like water puppetry, one of the nation's most beloved and uniquely Vietnamese cultural expressions. Alongside its robust traditions, Vietnam has a captivating spiritual dimension. On street corners, you might spot incense coils burning in front of small shrines adorned with fruit, flowers, and miniature offerings for ancestral spirits. This reflects a deep-rooted belief in the importance of filial piety and veneration of those who came before. The Vietnamese practice a blend of Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism, sometimes referred to collectively as the triple religion, underscoring how multiple philosophies can coexist and merge into a single, meaningful way of life. This strong sense of heritage manifests in daily life. Whether you're weaving through narrow alleys in the ancient town of Hoi An, illuminated at night by hundreds of lanterns, or savoring a hot bowl of pho on a bustling Hanoi sidewalk, you'll be touched by the history that seeps into every brick, every bowl, and every passing glance. Indeed, the relentless hum of motorbikes isn't just modern chaos, it's an echo of people striving, hustling, and thriving, reflecting the very pulse of a vibrant nation. Yet, there are still mysteries tucked away from the obvious tourist trails. Venturing into the northern mountains near Sapa reveals entire villages perched on rugged cliffs where ethnic minorities like the Hmong and Dao follow age-old customs. Their meticulously terraced rice fields paint the landscape in brilliant hues of green and gold, an elegant testament to human adaptability and endurance. These communities speak their own languages, dress in intricate traditional garb, and preserve ancestral rituals that have been passed down through generations. Further south, you might trace the Mekong Delta's labyrinth of waterways, a watery kingdom that sustains entire communities on a network of floating markets and stilt houses. Life here unfolds at a tranquil pace. Watch as farmers glide across canals in slender wooden boats, their days flowing in harmony with the tides. It's a corner of Vietnam that feels timeless, suspended between modern pursuits and ancient wisdom. Despite so many scenic wonders, Vietnam's path has not always been easy. The scars of conflict still linger in the collective psyche, particularly the tumult of the 20th century's wars. Monuments, museums, and historical sites, like the Cu Chi tunnels near Ho Chi Minh City, stand as both solemn reminders of hardship and inspirational testimonies to human resilience. They reflect a country that has learned to rebuild itself and adapt, forging a future that balances progress with reverence for the past. Curiosity might be stirring within you now. How does a society so deeply rooted in tradition adapt to rapid modernization? What does the future hold for a land so closely tied to its ancestral roots? As we continue, we'll dig deeper into Vietnam's day-to-day life, unraveling the customs, habits, and subtle nuances that shape the country's unique personality. Prepare to be both intrigued and inspired, because each new revelation promises to offer another piece of the puzzle. The next segment will journey beyond first impressions and postcards, promising a deeper insight into the everyday pulse of Vietnam. We'll explore the cultures, values, and present-day realities that lend this nation its mystique. So stay tuned as we open the door to even more secrets hidden beneath the surface of this extraordinary land. By the end, you might just feel a little closer to understanding why Vietnam continues to captivate hearts and minds across the globe. Vietnam's evolution from an agrarian society to a fast-developing nation is a story of determination and unity. In the pulsating metropolises of Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi, gleaming skyscrapers and contemporary shopping complexes stand shoulder to shoulder with colonial-era architecture and centuries-old pagodas. High-speed internet cafes thrive in neighborhoods where street vendors balance bamboo poles loaded with fresh fruit. It's a testament to a country in constant motion, striving to carve its identity on the global stage while holding tight to the values that shaped it. One of the country's most unmistakable symbols is the ubiquitous motorbike, a marvelous embodiment of Vietnamese resourcefulness. From entire families zipping through morning traffic to skillful drivers transporting towering stacks of goods, the motorbike culture stands as both a practical necessity and a cultural ritual. Navigating the streams of traffic can feel daunting at first, but once you accept the ebb and flow, you find a harmonious ballet where horns, signals, and instinct take precedence. Crossing the street in downtown Hanoi might feel like a leap of faith, yet somehow, everyone moves in a perfectly choreographed dance that rarely misses a beat. Food, of course, lies at the heart of any culture, and Vietnam's culinary repertoire is nothing short of sublime. Each region offers its own specialties, but all share a devotion to fresh ingredients, contrasting textures and balanced flavors, usually incorporating sweet, sour, salty, and spicy elements in perfect harmony. Think of the crisp herb garnishes in dishes like bun cha, or the comforting warmth of a steaming bowl of pho. Savor the tangy sweetness of café sua da, Vietnamese iced coffee with condensed milk, during a humid afternoon, and you're instantly awakened to the charm that laces even the simplest moments in this country. Beyond the cuisine, hospitality stands out as a defining trait of Vietnamese society. Step into a local's home, and you'll be greeted with an array of dishes meant to be shared around a communal table, as well as an endless supply of tea. Guests are treated with heartfelt warmth, often greeted by multiple generations living under one roof. This multi-generational household arrangement underscores the high value placed on family ties and care for the elderly, shaping interpersonal relationships and daily routines alike. A key aspect of modern Vietnamese life is education, viewed as both a fundamental responsibility and a stepping stone to a brighter tomorrow. Many parents invest significant resources into their children's schooling, hoping to break cycles of poverty or simply offer a better life. In rapidly expanding cities, English-language schools have mushroomed, offering new economic prospects in an increasingly globalized world. Meanwhile, rural communities balance traditional practices, such as rice farming, with the aspirations of younger generations eager to explore opportunities in tourism, tech, and trade. Daily life also dances around a deep sense of spirituality and respect. Wander past any storefront or home, and you may notice small altars with incense and daily offerings. These tributes honor ancestors and spiritual guardians, offering a glimpse into the gratitude and humility that underpin local values. Public festivals like Tet, Vietnamese Lunar New Year, unite communities in colorful celebration, featuring lion dances, fireworks, and heartfelt prayers for health and prosperity. It's a period when the entire country seemingly hits the pause button, reflecting on the past and preparing for the future. But it's not all tranquil cultural immersion. Vietnam is quickly becoming a hub for entrepreneurs, digital nomads, and adventurous travelers seeking more than a typical vacation. Cities like Da Nang and Nha Trang have blossomed into epicenters of beachside startups and creative collaborations. Local coffee shops brim with freelancers tapping away at laptops, forging connections with both local and international professionals. This synergy between tradition and innovation epitomizes Vietnam's unique allure, a place where old markets exist in tandem with new dreams, and where centuries-old customs effortlessly meld with contemporary ideas. As we dissect the threads of Vietnamese life, we see a portrait of a nation that refuses to remain stagnant. The warmth of the people, the diversity of culture, and the startling rate of development hint at a country that's not merely recovering from its history, but actively propelling itself into a future shaped by its own hands. The question remains, how does this dual emphasis on honoring the past and embracing progress influence everyday perspectives and priorities? In the next section, we'll explore deeper complexities and the profound nuances that lie behind Vietnam's outward charm. If you're already intrigued, fasten your seatbelt because the best is yet to come. We'll dive further into the complexities of Vietnamese society, focusing on real stories, advanced cultural insights, and a look at the extraordinary resilience that powers the people forward. Stay with us as we unpack the myriad reasons Vietnam is both mysterious and mesmerizing, offering endless lessons on how to adapt, persevere, and remain proudly rooted in one's heritage while surging toward tomorrow. At first glance, the concept of mystery in Vietnam might be interpreted as dense forests, hidden caves, or remote tribal villages. But the real enigma often lies in the intangible, the spiritual beliefs, cultural taboos, and unspoken customs that guide people's interactions. To truly appreciate Vietnam's complexity, one must explore the beliefs that shape daily decisions and social norms. Consider the importance of face, a concept tied to dignity, respect, and social standing. In many Asian cultures, Vietnam included, preserving someone's face can overshadow personal grievances or desires for honesty. Public confrontations are usually avoided, as harmony within a group is often regarded as more essential than exposing the truth at all costs. This mindset can appear perplexing to Westerners who favor bluntness or direct dialogue, yet in Vietnam, it's a subtle dance of courtesy and courtesy. By choosing to approach sensitive issues diplomatically rather than confrontationally, people maintain social balance, reflecting a cultural emphasis on empathy and respect. Another deep-rooted element is the notion of collective well-being. Through decades of hardships, colonization, wars, and economic struggles, Vietnamese communities have found strength in solidarity. Neighborhoods function like extended families. During holidays, it's not unusual for entire communities to gather in open courtyards or communal homes, sharing meals and exchanging stories. Even in modern workplaces, employees share a sense of unity that fosters collaboration. There's an understanding that when one person prospers, the entire group benefits, echoing the principle that survival itself is a collective endeavor. Travel beyond the urban centers, and you'll discover spiritual traditions that defy the tourist brochures. In rural areas, folk beliefs in spirits, deities, and even local guardians called Than remain robust. Each region might have its own sacred trees, stones, or shrines, believed to house spirits that protect villages from misfortunes. Ceremonies are performed to seek blessings for good harvests or ward off natural disasters. Although these rituals seem mystical or archaic, they're woven into the local cultural fabric, bridging the gap between the visible world and an unseen realm of guardians and ancestors. Speaking of guardians, the concept of ancestral worship extends beyond a mere religious practice. It's a moral and cultural pillar. Families often keep detailed genealogies, ensuring each generation remembers its predecessors. Elders carry an almost sacred authority, and major life decisions, such as marriage or career paths, are often discussed at length with extended family. This isn't just about following tradition, it's about ensuring continuity between past, present, and future. To the Vietnamese, ancestral memory provides a sense of identity, grounding them through centuries of shifts and upheavals. Meanwhile, modernization challenges some of these long-standing norms. In booming cities, young professionals chase demanding schedules, global aspirations, and new forms of expression. Western fashion, global pop music, and international cuisine have influenced the younger generation, sometimes clashing with more conservative or traditional expectations. Parents might hope their children follow the tried-and-true paths of stable jobs and family life, only to find that the next generation is busy freelancing in tech or traveling the world as social media influencers. These generational tensions, though occasionally intense, also open avenues for constructive dialogue. They highlight the beauty of cultural evolution, evidence of a society that's agile, adaptable, and constantly redefining itself. This advanced exploration of Vietnam wouldn't be complete without acknowledging the environmental heartbeat that sustains it. From the majestic karst formations in Ha Long Bay to the vibrant coral reefs around Con Dao, nature in Vietnam is both ally and adversary. The country's climate can be unforgiving, with typhoons ravaging coastal areas and flooding impacting river deltas. Yet it's also in these environments that we see some of the most resourceful adaptations, from floating villages to creative farming techniques. As modernization encroaches, safeguarding these ecosystems becomes a delicate balancing act, one that future generations will undoubtedly grapple with as the economy continues to expand. In unraveling these layers, whether they involve spiritual beliefs, social etiquette, generational clashes, or natural wonders, you gain a deeper sense of why Vietnam remains so profoundly captivating. It's not just a place you visit, it's an experience that transforms you. Each story you hear, each custom you witness, and each friendship you make draws you further into a realm where the lines between past and present blur, and where mysteries reveal themselves in the quiet gestures of everyday life. In the next section, we'll gather these threads and bring them into focus. We'll examine how they converge to paint an unforgettable picture of Vietnam. You'll see that beyond the vibrant street markets and panoramic landscapes lies a spiritual and emotional resonance, one that continues to expand and evolve, yet still holds firmly to its core principles. Prepare for the ultimate discovery. How all these complexities shape not just the country's identity, but also the heartfelt stories of the people who call it home. By now, we've uncovered how culture, tradition, spirituality, and modernity intersect in Vietnam, producing a kaleidoscope of experiences that leave travelers and residents alike both astonished and enriched. To conclude our journey, let's take a step back and piece together the overarching themes that make Vietnam so mysteriously compelling. Firstly, there's an undeniable sense of resilience and rebirth that flows through the country like a hidden current. Repeatedly tested by history, from external invasions to internal upheavals, Vietnam has learned to adapt and rebuild, never once forfeiting its essence. This resilience is visible not just in physical infrastructure, like war-torn areas transformed into tourist attractions or modern skyscrapers, but in the collective psyche, an enduring spirit that believes in forging a brighter tomorrow. The scars remain, yet they serve as reminders of how far the nation has come, fueling determination rather than despair. Secondly, the cultural tapestry is broad, interwoven with threads from various epochs. Whether it's the architectural elegance of French colonial villas, the philosophical underpinnings of Confucianism, or the distinct cuisines of central and southern Vietnam, each encounter offers a glimpse into a multifaceted heritage. Outsiders might view these elements as contradictory. How can a street contain a French-inspired coffee shop, a Buddhist temple, and a modern tech store all at once? But in Vietnam, the constant merging of influences is not only accepted, it's celebrated. This cultural syncretism shapes daily routines, festivities, interpersonal relationships, and even the entrepreneurial energy that courses through the cities. Thirdly, there is the dynamism of transformation. Vietnam's economy and social structures are shifting at an astonishing pace. The same roads once crowded with bicycles are now congested with motorbikes and automobiles. New developments spring up, sometimes overshadowing historical sites. Yet the soul of the land remains anchored in age-old customs and familial values. This duality, constant change balanced by deep-rooted tradition, provides an ongoing sense of wonder. It's as if the country exists on the cusp of tomorrow, yet never loses sight of where it came from. Finally, the emotional tapestry of Vietnam is one you can feel in every shared meal and every warm greeting. The communal spirit, the devotion to family, the respect for elders, and the emphasis on harmony all highlight an interconnectedness that Western societies sometimes lack. There is comfort in knowing you belong to something bigger than yourself, that your story is woven into the community, the ancestral line, and the natural environment. And for travelers or expatriates, embracing this worldview can be deeply transformative, instilling a renewed appreciation for human connection and responsibility. So what does all of this mean for you, the curious mind or intrepid explorer? If you set foot in Vietnam, you won't just accumulate photographs of towering pagodas and postcard-perfect beaches. You'll be invited to step into the swirling tapestry of life here. You'll be welcomed by families offering you a seat at their dinner table, colleagues insisting you join the next group outing, and street vendors chatting with you about your hometown as you share a bowl of noodles. Through these seemingly small interactions, you'll tap into the wellspring of stories and traditions that make Vietnam an enigma worth unraveling again and again. And of course, the mysteries don't stop with your departure. Many visitors find themselves drawn back, sometimes weeks or months later, irresistibly pulled to discover more hidden coves or to spend additional afternoons in that humble roadside cafe where they first learned to say Xin Chao. Vietnam leaves a lasting mark on those who dare to immerse themselves, revealing that the line between traveler and local is more permeable than one might think. In the end, the land's greatest mystery might be its power to make you feel at home in a place that, at first glance, seemed worlds away from your own. As we bring this exploration to a close, consider the transformation that happens when you open yourself to a culture so vastly different, yet profoundly relatable. Vietnam offers far more than scenic vistas and historical architecture. It provides a glimpse into a worldview where past and present merge seamlessly, where adversity fosters unity, and where tradition and modernity dance in perpetual harmony. It's in these contrasts and convergences that you'll find the true essence of this mysterious and exotic land. In our final section, we'll gather our thoughts and move toward a powerful conclusion, urging you to continue exploring Vietnam, whether physically or through the rich tapestry of stories and lessons it bestows. Get ready for one last inspirational push to embark on your own epic quest, guided by the spirit of curiosity, openness, and respect for the unknown. We've traversed winding roads and soared across bustling skylines to bring Vietnam's heartbeat into focus. Perhaps what stands out most is how deeply personal this journey becomes once you set your mind on understanding a place beyond its surface attractions. Vietnam is not just a stop on a travel itinerary. It's a living narrative of persistence, warmth, complexity, and an unwavering belief in the interdependence of people, communities, and the land they inhabit. In reflecting on our exploration, remember how we started, with the idea that this country brims with unknowns, beckoning to us with promises of adventure. Now, at the end of our deep dive, those mysteries begin to feel like old friends, familiar, yet still compelling. This revelation speaks to the profound transformation that occurs when you let curiosity lead you into uncharted cultural terrain. What emerges is a picture of a nation unafraid to blend the ancient with the modern, the sacred with the secular. One moment, you might stand in awe of an old temple bathed in the golden glow of dawn. Hours later, you could find yourself in a sleek co-working space, discussing startup innovations with a local entrepreneur. These contrasts are not contradictions. They are the essence of Vietnam's layered identity, continuously shaped by new waves of ideas, beliefs, and aspirations. Throughout this video, we've posed questions about how tradition coexists with rapid development, how spirituality shapes societal norms, and how cultural values withstand the whirlwind of globalization. While the answers are multifaceted, one truth persists. Vietnam's adaptability is anchored by a powerful moral center that respects the wisdom of ancestors, cherishes communal bonds, and welcomes progress as an avenue for growth rather than a repudiation of the past. It's a lesson that resonates well beyond Vietnam's borders, reminding us that true strength lies in a willingness to evolve without losing sight of our roots. So, what's next? Hopefully, this glimpse into Vietnam's heart and soul has ignited a spark within you. Perhaps it's time to plan a trip, connect with a Vietnamese community in your hometown, or simply learn a few words of the local language. Each step you take brings you closer to a world that's both refreshingly distinct and eerily recognizable, because deep down, the threads of family, resilience, spirituality, and hope bind us all. Before we wrap up, I want to extend a personal invitation to keep the conversation going. Have questions about traveling in Vietnam? Eager to share your own stories or curiosities? Drop them in the comments below. By engaging in this dialogue, you become part of a global community that values open-minded exploration and cultural exchange. Remember, I'm Lucas, and this is Unmasked Planet. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into Vietnam, truly one of the most mysterious and exotic lands in Asia. May your future travels be filled with wonder, discovery, and a profound sense that every corner of the globe has stories waiting to be unveiled. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep unmasking our incredible planet. Safe travels, and see you in the next adventure.